What's going on, knuckleheads? This is George with Fighters Rep, and we've got some breaking news for you guys. We knew this was going to happen. We predicted this was going to happen. All the telltale signs were there, and it looks like we finally got the news that Manny Mayweather is going to be going up against Manny Pacquiao in their long-anticipated rematch, and definitely something that we're excited about and something that we're pretty sure that the boxing public is going to be excited about. Thank you so much for joining us. It is Sunday, October 27th, and it looks like this news just broke on the worldwide net webs. Everybody's talking about it. Again, it's looking like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather Part 2 is happening. But the strange part is, knuckleheads, that it looks like this fight is going to be happening in Tokyo as an exhibition fight, of all things. Extremely strange. Not sure why they're making this an exhibition fight. Likely due to the fact that they don't have to perhaps use sanctioning bodies. Maybe it won't count against their records. All kinds of slick things that can be pulled without there being a sanctioning body. I'm assuming if that's why they're doing the exhibition fight. I'm sure there's a lot of rules that can be circumvented if you're going to be doing an exhibition fight. But it looks like Floyd Mayweather has announced it officially that him and Manny Pacquiao are going to be running it back in Tokyo in an exhibition fight. Does that mean the fight will be serious? Will this be borderline WWE? I don't think they'll go that far, but again, an exhibition bout to me sounds like they may not be having an official bout which will count for their actual records, which is very strange to me, and I'm not sure why they would do something like that. Very strange. So I'd love your opinions on that if you guys have any. But to me, it just sounds like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, they're going to be throwing down again, and they just don't want to deal with all the BS commissions, maybe the testing. Maybe they just don't want it to count against their record regardless of what happens. And they'll just leave it in the fans' hands to determine who won. Maybe they'll do something like that. Who knows? But definitely not the news I was hoping for. I was hoping it would be an actual fight. But it's, I don't know, just very weird that they would go the exhibition fight route. Maybe Mayweather is just not feeling that confident. I'm hoping if they do it in Japan that they'll still use a sanctioning body, and maybe they'll change it from an exhibition fight or kind of define for us what the exhibition means. Will it count towards their record? But I don't know. Something to me just sounds fishy about it being an exhibition fight. And as you can tell, I'm not a huge fan. So Chemical X, thank you so much for joining the chat, brother. Much appreciated. Please subscribe. Click the bell notification icon if you haven't already. Is saying Floyd a hoe for doing that, and Manny a hoe for taking that bait. Well, it's Chemical X is saying Floyd needs the money but doesn't want to lose his hoe. Well, it looks to me that they both know they can make a lot of money by doing this, and they've decided to go ahead and go for it instead of having to go through the traditional route. Maybe they don't feel like all the testing and the BS. Maybe this will allow them to use some steroids or whatever else they can use to look better and cut weight and this and that. Maybe they don't even have to cut weight since it's an exhibition bout. They don't have to pay any boxing commissions, and I know Marco Martinez, Suleiman, thanks for joining the chat. I see you guys. I appreciate it. I know Marco Martinez, for example, is saying Floyd is just trying to stay relevant, but it looks like Manny Pacquiao is also hinting and acting like this is going to happen. So, I mean, he's in on it. if it's happening, he's in on it, and he's just as much to blame. Suleiman is saying, I've seen WWE fights more realistic than Floyd versus Tension, so I don't have high hopes for this. And yeah, I mean, when I heard exhibition bout, I was just like, oh man, they've already cheapened it for me. But you know, everybody's going to tune in. Everybody and their mother is still going to tune into this BS. I wonder if they're going to charge money to watch it. I don't know if I'd pay for it, if I'm being honest with you guys. That'd be a tough purchase for me. Just because I like the traditional route. I like the real fight that counts towards the record. And, you know, there's something on the line there. When it's an exhibition fight, it's just like, yeah, whatever happens, happens, you know? So I'm not into that. There's not enough at stake for me, at least until they define what they mean by exhibition. James Doherty, thanks so much for joining the chat, brother. Much appreciated. He says, Floyd won't put his unbeaten record on the line, I don't think, but money talks. Man, you're talking 100% sense on that one, James Doherty. I couldn't agree with you more, brother. I think that's exactly what's happening here. He's 50-0. He's comfortable. There's no need to risk that pristine, perfect record. And let's just go out to Asia. Use the fan base out there, the huge Filipino fan base especially. Make some big money. Maybe there's some sort of loopholes or something out there in the taxes and with the money. And he's just saying, hey, it's time to line my pockets. I've already beaten everybody. I've beaten this guy. I don't want to take this too seriously. Let's run this, you know. Jamaican Boxing. Appreciate you. See you in the chat, brother. Emmanuel Kant, thank you guys for joining. Jamaican is saying, Floyd and Manny should just leave boxing alone. They had their time. Allow the younger generation to eat. I agree with that, but Jamaican, Manny Pacquiao actually looked pretty decent in that Keith Thurman fight. He looks like he could still hang with the guys at welterweight, you know? So, I mean, does he go away too, or should Floyd just go away and Manny stick around? What do you think about that? I'm pretty honestly, I'm pretty interested to hear what your opinion is on that one, because I just felt like Manny Pacquiao, man, we saw Manny Pacquiao beat Keith Thurman, who I've always thought was one of the best welterweights, although he was coming back off a huge layoff in that weak fight against Josecito Lopez. But still, Manny Pacquiao looked good in there, and then Spence didn't look spectacular against Porter. So I just feel like a guy like Pacquiao might still have what it takes to actually give those guys a tough fight. Even at the age of 40 or whatever, he's just still a bad dude, man. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if Pacquiao wants to stick around, I can't really tell him to get out. And Floyd, if he's still anywhere near as sharp as he once was, I can't tell him to get out. But if they're going to be doing this exhibition BS, then yes, they need to get out, like you said, to let these young men eat. Because this is ridiculous. Suleiman said, tension fights the winner. Suleiman, you're the comic relief in this chat for me, brother. I appreciate you, my man. Tension fights the winner. That was embarrassing. That was just embarrassing. There's another thing I want to talk to you guys about. And it's regarding this whole WBC fiasco that everybody's up in arms about them making Lomachenko the franchise champ and then upgrading Devin Haney like he's at a, Jack in the Box drive-thru. They just upgraded him and they got him a full WBC champ instead of the Happy Meal version. So there's something I want to tell you guys about that, and I think you guys will be surprised. At least for me, it's not. I don't know why everybody's up in arms about this franchise belt, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But I'm gonna read some more of the responses we have about this Pacquiao Mayweather shit. Jamaican Boxing, it says, I honestly think Floyd and Manny is going broke. That could be it. Emmanuel Kant. What's up, brother? Floyd will run away from that too. Ha ha. Emmanuel, thanks for joining the chat, bro. Hey, some call it running, some call it defense. But I do think if they're doing an exhibition bout, I mean, I think we're all smart, intelligent adults here. We know that they don't want to affect their record. So this is a perfect compromise to both of them. Manny, who probably doesn't want to lose to Mayweather, but still wants to fight him. Floyd, who doesn't want to lose at all. And this is what it is, you know. John Wick, Manny looked amazing against Thurman, flat out. I agree with that, John. Thanks for joining the chat, brother. He says, again, I think Manny could beat Spence. You know, John Wick, that's not outside of the realm of reality. I would have said there's no chance of that happening before the Spence Porter and before the Thurman fight. But subsequent to that, now I think, man, maybe Manny Pacquiao could make something happen in those fights, you know? Jamaican boxing, they should both go away. Pacquiao will hold the belt hostage. Now he wants to fight Mikey coming off a loss. These dudes should allow young people to survive. They already made their money. That's true. Or fight the young people, you know. He should fight Spence. He should fight Crawford, you know. Step on up and fight these guys. Like you said, Jamaican, give these guys a chance, man. We got to get these dinosaurs out of here. Let's see here. Suleiman. Sorry, I'm getting a text from our videographer. It looks like he's trying to upload some more fights from Fighters Rep 8. So those will be up soon for you guys to enjoy for free. Man, our fights are dope. Definitely check it out. We matched them. It's me and Jesse Brown, my matchmaker, that match these fights. And we make sure these fights are really tight. And these kids, man, these young men out here in Los Angeles and Southern California, the mecca of combat sports, these guys bang it out. So you definitely wanna check out the free fights that we upload on this channel for you guys. Also, don't forget to hit that like button. Give me some engagement. Show me some love. Also, feel free to donate or get your Fighters Rep gear below. And if you want to help out the channel without really coming out of pocket, if you're buying anything from Amazon, we're an Amazon affiliate. If you click the link in the description to the Amazon hand wraps we got down there, and you buy anything, even if it's not the hand wraps, if you buy anything after clicking that link, they send us a commission and we reinvest it right back into the promotion and this channel. So thank you guys so much. Let's see. James Doherty is saying Pac-Man beats Spence, maybe, but not Crawford. I agree with that, man. Crawford's probably my number one pound for pound. I'm feeling very Crawfordish these past few days with Lomachenko being raised to franchise champion. Not as big of a deal as a lot of people are making it out to be when you kind of look at it in context, with context. But everybody's up in arms about this franchise belt bullshit. It's crazy to me. Manny's family consists about 12,000 Filipinos, and he financially supports all of them, so I can see why he would need the money. And Floyd lives his life like he's Warren Buffett. That's true. That's true. And he even lives in Vegas. John Wick, I think he could decision Crawford. Manny is so fast on the inside. I mean, there's a possibility, but if I got to put if you're going to put the kids' college fund savings on it, you got to go with Crawford on this one, I think. I don't know what you guys think, but that's what I think. Chemical X saying Loma a hoe for taking that whiteness protection program. Did you say whiteness or witness protection? Oh my goodness, Chemical. By the way, hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon if you haven't done that already, brother. I appreciate it. Suleiman, I don't doubt they both need the money. Emmanuel Kant, Mayweather, McGregor too. Ha. Oh my goodness. That's the last fight I want. I want to see McGregor get back in there and actually win an MMA fight. I heard he's coming back in January. I've heard hints of him fighting Frankie Edgar, maybe Donald Cerrone. Either way, I'd like to see him fight. You know, he's always entertaining, but against Mayweather, he's got no chance. Absolutely no chance unless it's in an octagon. And even then, at this point, he's just running his mouth. So he needs to stick to fighting MMA and stop talking so damn much. John Wick, dude, I watched the last stream you guys had. Super awesome fights. Thank you, John, man. Thank you. You know, the kids that fight for our promotion, for Fighters Rep, my promotion, come from the best camps in the world. I've got, just for sure. I mean, I'll run through them and you'll recognize all of them. I mean, I got Black House. Anderson Silva was at the show, and they had like 3 or 4 guys on the cards all the time. Systems Training Center, they've got guys in the UFC. CMMA had like 4 guys just fight for Bellator the other day. The best teams on earth. Saxon has fought for us. A bunch of guys all over Bellator and the UFC. So I mean, I got a lot of talent down here. I'm trying to build something special with this channel and with the promotion. So I really appreciate when you guys join and donate and do all this stuff, because it's all going to them and it's all going to the promotion. Try to make this thing great and try to make this channel great. A channel where we can all get together. Almost every night we do this at 9 p.m. Pacific. We talk combat sports. We have a good time. We talk shit. And, everybody's welcome to say whatever they want. I don't kick people out for having a difference of opinion. I don't kick people out if they can insult each other, insult me. I mean, I ask that everybody try to be respectful and just like contribute. But I don't kick people out. So that's just the way I roll. John Wick said meant super awesome fights. I appreciate that. James Doherty said McGregor's going to train Tyson Fury for an MMA fight next year, according to some reports. I don't think Tyson Fury could ever make it in MMA. His legs are just, he looks like he has a hard time standing up, if I'm being honest with you. And I'm actually very surprised by his ability to move so well, because his legs look awfully weak. But I don't think at this point in his career he needs to go anywhere near an MMA fight. But I don't know. I don't know what Tyson Fury's up to, man. The guy's crazy. He might be thinking to do like a big cross-promotional MMA fight against somebody who's got no shot. And if the money's right, maybe he'll do it. I don't know. I think, he should just stick to boxing, fight Wilder again, fight Joshua Ruiz, Dillian White, all these guys, Usyk now. They just need to fight each other, but the bullshit boxing establishment is always neglecting us, man, and not giving us the fights we want to see. So it's ridiculous. Jamaican Boxing says Pacquiao is a low-key, big-money gambler, and Floyd buys friends and women, so I'm not surprised. They need the money. Manny picked Thurman because he's the weakest link in the chain. Pac-Man gets stopped by Crawford, Spence, or even Porter. That's a possibility, and I did hear some funky things about Manny Pacquiao. I don't know how true they are, but I have heard some of the stuff you're mentioning there, and I do agree he picked Thurman because he was the weakest link at that point. But, he looked decent enough to where I thought maybe he can give Porter or Spence a little bit of a fight. I would still favor Spence over Pacquiao. I would definitely favor Crawford over anybody. That includes anyone from cruiserweight down. I would favor Crawford, but I'm just kidding. But I think he's the best pound for pound probably. But but yeah, I don't know about Porter though. I think Pacquiao, Porter, they're very familiar with each other. They were sparring partners. I think Pac can give him a fight, and I think he can give Spence a fight. But it remains to be seen. He's probably not going to fight them though. Now with this Mayweather opportunity arising, he's not going to fight him. Chemical X, how much you pay for a bout? I'm hungrier than Francis Ngannou. Well, with the amateur cards, we don't pay that much because we can't pay amateur fighters. It's against the law, I guess. But if you want to fight on one of our pro cards, we can negotiate that. Chemical X. Of course, I would want you to have had some sort of kickboxing or striking background, because these guys are tough for sure. If you watch our fights, again, these kids come from the best. These men, I keep calling them kids because they're younger than me, but most of them are. But these men are really, really talented, and they're pretty scary, some of them. So for sure, I'd want you to have some experience before you jumped in there. John Wick, I've been watching them since I got hip to your stuff. And man, I'll always support, donate, and help make it awesome. And you had and you have a great YouTube channel. Thank you, John Wick. Much appreciated, my man. I'm trying, to be the place, the bastion where everybody goes to talk about combat sports, just people that love combat sports, that don't want to get into all this like political and tribal and personal political crap. We don't care about that stuff here, where you're from, what you represent, or nothing like that. We just want you to come in, enjoy talking about combat sports, make some friends, be part of Knucklehead Nation. That's what we're calling it. And, give your 2 cents. And then afterwards you can tell me, hey, George, you were wrong. I told you so. Or I can do it to you guys, especially considering I'm right a lot more than you guys are. I'm just kidding. That's a bad joke. Let's see here. Chemical X, Tyson Fury fights like a handicap. I hope Curtis Blades sits on his face, then strangles him. Curtis Blades would absolutely do that to him for sure. I don't know about the sitting on his face, but he would definitely mount him and strangle him. Suleiman, Floyd Mayweather versus The Big Show 2. That's the real money fight. Nobody wants to see that at all, brother. Pacquiao ain't no saint, but he's a Christian. I like that one. That's true. Aren't a lot of us. I think that applies to a lot of us. Suleiman, Keith Thurman breaks his bones making a cup of coffee in the morning. You might be right about that. Chemical X, I have Deontay Wilder in my right hand and a heart. All it takes is one. That's true. All it does take is one. But all it does take is also one shin to the head, man. And kickboxing is a terrifying sport, especially if you're used to boxing. A lot of the times, I'm more used to boxing. So when I do the kickboxing training with the guys at the gym sometimes, especially at first, I would dip way low to avoid shots. I'll dip real low. The problem is when you dip low on a kickboxer, that shin is going to come up and hit your head. So you kind of got to stay upright, and the movement has to be more subtle. Because if you go too deep, you're going to sleep. And it's not a cool thing. So definitely, hey, everybody's welcome to compete if they pass their medicals. And we prefer guys that are local, Chemical, to Southern California. So let me know. James Doherty, Regis, and Josh Taylor fight was great. I like both fighters. Had Josh winning by 1 round at least. Could be a different outcome if they do a rematch, though, if Regis improves a little. I thought that was a great fight. I actually thought Josh Taylor won by 2 or 3 rounds. And I told everybody this on yesterday's chat, that I thought Regis looked a little bit flat to me. I don't know why. He just looked like he never got out of 3rd or 4th gear until the very end of the fight is when I thought he did his best work. But then Josh Taylor, after the fight, was kind of talking about how the injury he had to his eye was kind of preventing him from seeing what was coming. So that kind of makes sense. But, at the end of the day, I thought Josh Taylor did enough to win that fight. At the same time, I was disappointed in Regis Prograis, a guy that I respect and I like very much. He's actually interviewed on this channel and gave me a great interview. As a matter of fact, I went down to Churchill's Boxing Club I think it's near Hollywood. I drove over there just to see him and talk to him. Great guy, extremely talented. I saw him sparring. Defense, impeccable. I mean, I picked him to win the fight, but I just felt like he just came up a little short and was a little bit flat. So, the next thing I kind of wanted to touch on with you guys was this whole hoopla going around about the WBC franchise belt being awarded to Vasily Lomachenko and Devin Haney being awarded the full WBC belt. And it seems that a lot of the boxing channels on YouTube and the boxing news outlets are up in arms and offended, and they can't believe it. What is this franchise belt? People should earn a belt. And how was Haney upgraded, and why are there all these belts? And it's just so, guys, it's just so fucking ridiculous to me, right? That we can be, as a boxing community, be so up in arms about these multiple belts and be surprised about this. I mean, you have to really educate yourself on the sport of boxing, on the way these commissions work, before you can even be offended by these commissions further. You see, we're on this channel, and part of the reason we made this channel, I made this channel, is to call out the boxing culture and the boxing establishment and the combat sports establishment for the bullshit that they do. And my biggest pet peeves, and I think the biggest disgraces to the sport, especially in boxing, are the A-side versus B-side fights, the constant A-side versus B-side uneven fights. The second fatal flaw in the boxing establishment / culture is the padded record syndrome, where, they have these people fight a bunch of nobodies, or guys that are nobody at the time they fight the Golden Goose in order to pad the Golden Goose's record. The problem is, where does that leave the opponent? You know what I mean? It's just so disrespectful. I mean, you got to be such a sociopath to do that kind of thing to people, to do that kind of thing to fighters. It makes me sick. So the A-side versus B-side, the constant padding of bullshit records and trying to fool the boxing public like we're suckers. And then, all these bullshit belts and the best guys not fighting each other. I mean, there's so much wrong with boxing. There's a lot wrong with combat sports, but there's so much wrong with boxing. But for people to be up in arms about Canelo and Vasily Lomachenko receiving the WBC franchise belt, and about Devin Haney being upgraded to full WBC champion, for people to be up in arms about that just lets me know that people haven't done their research and are just not informed. And I'm a bit of a dork. I do a lot of research. I'm a dork attorney. All I do is research all day long. And I'm going to explain to you guys why you cannot be offended by there being now a franchise belt and somebody being awarded a franchise belt. So here it goes. I'm going to give you guys a few names, and you tell me, this is a clue. I'm going to give you guys some names. You tell me what they have in common. Okay, I'm going to start with Joseph Aguirre, Otto Joseph, Victor Kotochegov, Christian Urusquieta, Apichet Pitchmani, Hector Tanahara, Joe Cordina, Alfredo Santiago. Let's see here. Jader Parra, Francesco Patera, Zaur Abdullayev, and now Devin Haney and Lomachenko. So what do you guys think that these several names I just recited to you have in common? I'm going to give everybody a shot to answer that question. And whoever answers that question is the man in this chat room. Okay? And I might even go as far as to make you a moderator for the chat. But, tell me what you think all those names have in common. And I'm going to tell you, after you guess, why nobody should be offended by the fact that Lomachenko and Devin Haney have been upgraded or awarded, belts that maybe they didn't earn. Let me read a couple, I'm going to read a couple more comments, and I'm going to tell you guys what the answer is. So Buddy Aces, thank you so much for joining the chat. I'm going to ask that you please subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. It's much appreciated. Says, I agree Taylor won by 3 rounds in my opinion. Heck yeah, man. Josh Taylor, I thought was the better boxer, the better fighter, fought better on the inside, fought better on the outside, landed big punches. I thought Prograis landed big punches too. But Taylor too, man, it was tit for tat with the big shots. And just, for me at one point, it looked like he was trying to finish the fight. And I was just thinking to myself, what the hell's happening to Prograis? Prograis is not fighting here. You know what I mean? He looks tired. And I thought maybe the weight cut, he had to take his underwear off on the scale. So I thought maybe the weight cut, maybe it was, I don't know, fighting abroad so far from home. Maybe it was messing with him. I totally don't know what happened there. But, he just didn't look like the same program we're used to. But again, that could be 100% attributable to how good Josh Taylor is. So, no excuses. Josh Taylor is the man. James Doherty writes, super helium weight belt and extra large heavyweight belt will be added next. And super deluxe heavyweight belt with bacon and cheese should be added as well. Buddy Aces, it's like a Pee-wee league now. Everybody gets a trophy. I love that, Buddy Aces. I love that, brother. Larry Rosalind, thank you so much for joining the chat. Much appreciated. Please subscribe. Click the bell notification icon if you haven't. And, anytime we come on, which is 9 p.m. almost every night, you'll know if you hit that bell notification icon. Jamaican Boxing says they are all Mexicans or Eastern Europeans. That's wrong, but a decent try, Jamaican Boxing. You're much appreciated as always, brother. Suleiman, let me guess. They all held belts in the same weight division. Oh, damn you, Suleiman. You're not just funny. You are intelligent as well. But that is not the entirety of the answer, although it is the answer. Larry Roseland wrote they want to be a legend. Buddy Aces says I am sub. Thank you so much. So, Suleiman, you're right in that they all hold belts in the same weight division, but we're going to take this shit one step further, right? And we're bringing you guys into the know, right? You guys are with me as Knucklehead Nation on a mission to not only shit on the boxing establishment and culture for the ridiculousness that it keeps putting us through and on the combat sports establishment, but we're taking this another level, man. We're researching. So not only are these guys holding belts in the same weight division, but they are all holding belts at lightweight in the WBC. These are all WBC title holders at lightweight. And I'll go through them again. Joseph, I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to read out exactly what title they hold in the WBC at lightweight. Look how narrow that is, right? Look how narrow that is, and look how many of them there are. And people are up in arms because Vasily Lomachenko, who might be the greatest fighter right now doing the thing, because he got a franchise belt. People are up in arms about that. Look how uneducated and uninformed we are as fans, So I'm going to go through it again. Joseph Aguirre, he's got the America belt, it looks like. I'm going to tell you guys exactly which belt each guy has, right? So Joseph Aguirre, he's got the WBC Continental Americas light title. Okay? You guys are not ready for this. That's one guy. Somebody keep track. That's one guy. Otto Joseph is the next guy. Okay? Otto Joseph. Otto Joe Boy Joseph has the WBC African Boxing Union light title. Okay, so there's going to be a few of these. Viktor Kotajikov from Kazakhstan. Looks like he has some sort of international WBC lightweight title. Let's see, I'll confirm. Yes, the international one. That's what Viktor Kotajikov has. Okay? We're still going. That's 3 down. Christian Urusquieta Okay? He's got the international silver version. So he doesn't have the gold medal, you guys. He's got the silver one, you guys. Jesus Christ. I mean, is this clickbait or no, Daniel Ion? This is not clickbait, brother. This is for real. Why do you think this is clickbait, Daniel Ion? Let me know. I'm just talking about right now. We've kind of changed subjects as to why people shouldn't be offended at Lomachenko and Devin Haney getting upgraded to franchise belt and full belt holder in the WBC. I'm gonna read through these a bit quicker for you guys, okay? Because I don't want to spend all night on this. It looks like Daniel Aon is getting, he's getting antsy. So we have Joseph Aguirre with an America's title, Otto Joseph with an African title, Victor Kotochikov with the international WBC title, Christian Urusquieta with the international WBC silver title, Apichet Pichmani with the Asian version, Hector Tanahara has one, Joe Cordina has one, I believe it's the Commonwealth one, Alfredo Santiago has one called the Fecker Box one. Maybe that's like a Caribbean version or a Dominican version. Haider Parra from Venezuela has the Latino one. Francesco Patera has the EBU WBC belt. Zaur Abdullayev has the silver one. So there's an international silver and there's a silver. So that's 11 belts that the WBC has given out just at lightweight. Devin Haney has number 12 now with the full WBC title. Vasily Lomachenko is number 13 with the franchise WBC franchise belt. So the WBC, knuckleheads, has 13 belts in one division. They have 13 belts. I mean, I can't even find 13 fighters at lightweight. And they've got 13 belts at lightweight. And people are up in arms about Vasily Lomachenko getting a franchise belt. Where is your, why weren't you triggered when they gave out the 13 belts? I mean, am I the only one seeing this? Am I the only one that has noticed this? It's just ridiculous. James Doherty said they all played soccer at school. That's hilarious. Buddy Ace's USNBC title holders. Good try. Jamaican boxing, more else equals more sanctioning fees. Yes, more belts does equal more sanctioning fees. That's why they do it. Larry Rosalind. And Jamaican boxing, they've got one in every region. So Mauricio Suleiman, much respect to him. He's a businessman, I guess. He's cashing in every single currency that you can think of. He's cashing in. Suleiman says the WBC has 23 belts currently. WBC weird bullshit corruption. Larry Rosalind says Loma should fight all of them and unify all belts. Well, I mean, he's going to have to basically start his career anew if he's going to have to get through, 12 guys. That's quite an endeavor to have to fight 12 guys to win all the WBC belts at lightweight. Like forget about unify. You'll never unify, basically. When people say unify, it's a fucking lie. To unify, you need to beat 12 guys in the WBC's lightweight division. You need to beat all 12 of them if you're going to unify. Okay, and you need to have a belt. Otherwise, you need to beat 13 of them. You see what I'm saying, guys? So, hey, Jamaican boxing says Mauricio Suleiman selling belts for cheap. Yup. Probably not for cheap. Daniel Aon, Floyd versus Manny. Yeah, I mean, Daniel, we talked about that already at the beginning of the video. It looks like Floyd and Manny are fighting a rematch, but it looks like it's going to be an exhibition fight, which is extremely disappointing considering the fact that with an exhibition fight, you're probably not going to have to go through a commission. You're probably not going to have to go through several tests. It's probably not going to count towards your record. It might not even be 5-minute rounds. I mean, it might not even be 12 rounds. It's basically a sparring match in Tokyo, but I'm sure he'll make some money. Suleiman, Daniel Aon, it won't be a real fight. It's a bullshit money grab. Tokyo touch butt contest that won't count on either record. Will be a tremendous touch butt contest. Larry Rosalie, now I know the answer. All of them are champion, but some of them is only regional title. That's why Loma should fight them all. Daniel Aon laughing. Chemical X, you're missing the point. Buddy Aces, Deontay Wilder is a Pee-wee champion. Chemical X, it's a duck belt so that Loma and Canelo doesn't have to fight the number one contender. That belt is not leverage to prevent you from fighting the number one contender. You either are going to fight the number one contender or you're not. I don't think that by handing Lomachenko the franchise belt and upgrading Devin Haney to full title holder is any different than it was before when Lomachenko was the full title holder and Devin Haney had a different kind of belt. I mean, it's the same thing. They've upgraded both of them, and they both still have a title. So if they want to duck, then again, that's boxing culture. That's boxing establishment. That's what we're making fun of here, right? They're not ducking because they were awarded an upgraded belt. There were already 13 belts floating around. There are now still 13 belts, or maybe there were 12, and now there are 13. I don't know what happened there as far as the total goes, but either way, they were both title holders in the same organization, the WBC. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I think the only thing that this franchise belt does is it ties Suleiman's organization, the WBC, to these guys in perpetuity, so that anytime he has a convention, he can just say, hey, come on down. You know what I mean? Come on down, come to Cancun, be a part of my little, dog and pony show. I'll, show you around, everybody. You're my franchise champion. I mean, if these guys want to fight, they're going to fight, If these guys want to fight, they're definitely going to fight. So, I don't know. That's the way I feel about that. You know what I mean? What do you guys think? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Suleiman is saying, I just turned pro, won my first fight. Mauricio Suleiman wrapped a belt around my waist after. I'm the intergalactic, interdimensional, continental drift champion of the world. Suleiman, at least that's what my belt says. Jamaican King says, read the rules of the belt. Read the perks of having that belt. Buddy Aces is saying, Devin Haney is a paper champion. Suleiman, I'm unifying my belts next month against the region manager of Walgreens, the super lightweight champ of the world. Don't miss it. Daniel Aon, Pretty Boy Floyd or Puss Boy Floyd. Oh my goodness. I don't know. So let's see here. Jamaican Boxing asked me to read the perks of the belt. I mean, if you have anything that tells me what they are, let me know. This is what I've found so far. The franchise champion designation is exclusively by appointment of the WBC Board of Governors by a majority vote. The designation is not transferable. It's exclusively to the fighter who receives such designation. The franchise champion will be designated as WBC Emeritus Champion once he retires from boxing. The franchise champion will proudly, represent the WBC in every single fight as a reigning WBC champion, regardless of any specific conditions or titles being associated with all future fights. WBC rules and regulations will govern Under the traditional conditions of boxing, the franchise champion fights. WBC will approve through the franchise champion promoter every opponent scheduled to fight. He agrees to participate in a minimum of 2 social responsibility events every year, organized and in conjunction with the WBC. So there it goes. I mean, they're just tying themselves in perpetuity to Canelo and Lomachenko because they're celebrities and they're going to give credibility to their little events in Cancun or wherever they do their events. The WBC may recognize a WBC champion in a division or divisions where the franchise champion currently competes. The WBC may award a diamond championship belt in those fights in which the franchise champion engages. If the franchise champion loses, the winner will receive the diamond belt and may be considered as mandatory contender of the division. So, I mean, it just makes you a champion in perpetuity. I mean, that's what I said. And, it ties you, again, permanently to the organization so you can be part of their dog and pony show. I don't know. That's the way I'm reading. If you guys see something else in there, I'd love to hear it. James Doherty saying, I suppose all boxers, sportsmen like winning a medal, trophy, belt. And let's face it, not everybody can be a main champion title holder. So maybe it's okay as it's good to win something. Chemical X, why haven't Gary Russell or Deontay Wilder gotten that belt also? According to Mauricio Suleiman, in an interview I saw him do, he basically said that he's giving it to people that are extremely, have really high achievements, and he decided to give it to Vasyl Lomachenko because of 2 gold medals. He's a champion, I think, 3 weight divisions. So, I mean, he's a very exceptional person as far as his merits go. So that was his reason for giving it to him. Now, again, I think that is true. Lomachenko does have some incredible merits, a great resume. But, again, at the end of the day, it's a money grab like all this other stuff. Like more of the, boxing culture establishment stuff. He's tying his organization to these guys in order for them to, basically be figureheads at his social events. It brings credibility to his social events when, guys like Canelo and guys like Lomachenko, the biggest names in the sport, are forced, it says according to the rules, twice a year to be at the social event. So that's what it is. I mean, it's a popularity contest. It's a popularity trophy, right? And I'm sure if Lomachenko and Canelo were extremely, had extremely high merits but weren't popular and nobody gave a shit about them, he wouldn't have done this. But because these guys are popular, on top of being skilled, that's why he's doing this. Let's see here. So that's why Gary Russell or Deontay Wilder haven't gotten that belt. Also, don't forget Gary Russell lost to Lomachenko. So that's all the more reason for Suleiman to give it to Lomachenko over a guy like Gary Russell. Suleiman says Floyd is a humanitarian. He donates the majority of his money to strippers. What a role model and a great man. Oh my God, you're horrible. Chemical X, Wilder has the most WBC title defenses. Where is his belt? Well, I bet you as soon as Wilder starts selling more tickets or continues to rise in popularity to the point where he does sell as much as Lomachenko or Canelo or guys like that, I bet you he gets a franchise belt. I bet you. Daniel Ion, Suleiman couldn't agree more. Daniel Ion, instead of donating, Floyd has 50 cars that all look the same, and he probably only drives 3 different cars a month. Chemical X, so Loma achieved more than Crawford? Yes, Loma has achieved more than Crawford. Loma is a 3-weight division champion. He's got 2 Olympic gold medals. Those 2 Olympic gold medals are worth, are something that Crawford can never achieve at this point, are something that most guys can just never achieve at this point. I think Rigondeaux had 2 gold medals, but Loma beat him. So, it's only natural for him to say that Loma has achieved so much, and that's why he's given him the belt. I mean, the argument can always be made that, Crawford's a better fighter, Crawford's done more in the pro ranks, but I think when you look at their careers overall, I mean, even I would say that Lomachenko has achieved more than Crawford at this point. That's my opinion, though. So, my man, Daniel Ion, Floyd buys all those cars so nobody can drive them in hopes to reduce CO2 emissions. What a man Floyd is. Chemical X, where's Crawford's belt? He earned his belt. So forget about him. We're not talking about guys that earned their belt. But my point is, there are 13 belts out there, you guys, in one weight division for one sanctioning body. Why is everybody up in arms about this now? It's kind of like, I don't even want to get political, but it's kind of like if, you punch your neighbor in the face 100 times, and then the time that you punch them in the face and they fall down is when everybody gets upset about it. Well, I mean, you did it 100 times before, so was it that big of a difference? I just don't know. I'm not understanding it. I'm not following the outrage culture on this one. Buddy A says Wilder can't sell like Loma and Canelo. Gary fights once a year. That's true. Chemical X, it's a duck belt, so the anointed ones can pick their fights. They're doing that anyway, Chemical X. They're doing that anyway. They're picking their fights anyway. It's bullshit. He needs to fight Haney. Lomachenko needs to fight Haney. I don't think this belt changes that fact, but that's just my opinion. Buddy A says Spence has it for a chew toy. He's gumming on it. Chemical X, Loma sells more tickets than Wilder. Nobody knows Loma outside of boxing. Actually, I went to a Loma fight here at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, and it was on a Friday. It wasn't even on a Saturday, and the place was fucking packed on a Friday night right after work. So, I think Lomachenko internationally probably does a lot better than Deontay Wilder. That's not to say Deontay Wilder doesn't sell a lot of tickets, but my understanding is he wasn't selling that many up until that Tyson Fury fight. So I don't know, I could be wrong about that. But I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Do I think Wilder, deserves to be recognized? Absolutely. I think Wilder, I just said a few videos ago, I think Wilder is the best heavyweight champion we have because he's the most consistent. He's consistent, As far as skill, maybe he's not the guy. But he's got the power, he's got the intangibles, he's got the heart, and he's consistent. He hasn't lost. He wants to fight everybody. He's serious about boxing. He's dedicated. Some of these other guys, like, Tyson Fury, I don't know. Usyk is untested. Ruiz and AJ, they're still straightening, their shit out. So I do think Deontay Wilder needs to be recognized, but is he an international star the way Lomachenko is? No, he's not. At least not in my opinion. Buddy Aces, Suleiman says Spence should wait until he fights Crawford to fix his teeth. I don't see the point of having to get them fixed twice. I agree, Suleiman. I like your strategies, brother, especially when it comes to aesthetics. Daniel Ion, who's your favorite MMA fight and boxer? Right now, I think my favorite boxers that I like to watch fight, that I just like to watch fight, and I like their personalities too. I really like Dillian White. I don't know why. I like Dillian White. I really liked what I saw from Josh Taylor. I really liked that, but that's fresh in my mind. I like Deontay Wilder because he just goes in there and tries to destroy people. And I like Terrence Crawford because I think he's hyper skilled, and Lomachenko. As far as MMA, I don't know. I don't really have favorite fighters. I just like to see good fights. But as far as MMA, I think Adesanya's kind of fun, although he's a little bit cringe at times. I really like Henry Cejudo. I think he's super cringe, but I really love Henry Cejudo. I don't know why. I love how cringe he is. And he's got balls, man. And he calls himself Triple C and stuff like that. And then I like Jorge Masvidal, man. I'm from Miami, and I think he's really representing from Miami. So I like Masvidal, man. That's who I like right now. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Chemical X is saying, why isn't AJ a franchise champ? Well, he just lost to Ruiz, so he can't be a franchise champ. Buddy Ace says, Loma is known around the world. I agree with that. Chemical says, nobody knows Loma outside of boxing, but Chemical, I disagree with you on that. I think a lot of people know Loma. Even here, I remember distinctly from the crowd a Mexican guy screaming, Partele la madre, Loma. And everybody was busting out laughing. The place was packed on a Friday, man. I'm telling you. Suleiman, Chemical X franchise champ is created by the WBC and only the WBC. AJ never had a WBC belt. That's true, too. Chemical X, Canelo, and AJ are the only true current boxing superstars. That's true. But like Suleiman said, AJ never won the WBC title. It's Deontay that has it. Chemical X, I just asked my side chick if she knows who Lomachenko is, and she asked, what is a Lomachenko? Hey, you should show her what it is, brother. Chemical X, the prostitute you're with doesn't represent or speak for the world. Oh my God. 41 fights, 40 knockouts. Suleiman, War Chisora, one of my favorite. Who's the donkey now? The ghost of Ben Askren might be my favorite MMA fighter. I love the Who's the donkey now. I like Chisora too. He's a funny guy. He's crazy though, man. That guy's not stable at all. But part of the reason I like him. Buddy Aces, are you sure she's your side chick? Maybe you're just one of her sponsors for her bills. Before I continue, guys, appreciate you guys being in the chat. Please click the subscribe button and the bell notification icon if you haven't done it. Feel free to donate to the super chat or the links below. Get something, a Fighters Rep shirt maybe, or anything from the Amazon affiliate link below after you click it. You don't have to buy the hand wraps it takes you to. If you buy anything after that, after clicking that link, we'll get credit. So, for Halloween, if you're buying candy or whatever, or for these upcoming holidays, be sure to click that link and you'll be showing some love without coming out of pocket to us by just purchasing something after clicking that link. So it's much appreciated. Daniel Aon is saying, I like Habib. That's a good choice. Also, for those who don't know, George versus Nate is going to happen. That's true. It looks like it is going to happen now. It's back on. Nate Diaz, whatever he had in his system is not a banned substance, it turns out. So they're going to let that fight ride. James Doherty, Wilder should have took the AJ fight. If Andy Ruiz beats him again, Wilder would have maybe have missed a massive payday. I don't think maybe. I think he missed a massive payday. And that's more that bullshit boxing establishment culture bullshit that we're always making fun of on this channel. Was Wilder not fighting AJ? Why did that fight not happen? Those guys should have fought each other. It's unacceptable. And in the UFC, that fight would have 100% happened had the UFC been running boxing. That fight didn't happen because boxing is full of shit still. And we got to force these guys to fight each other, man. I don't care if we got to tweet these guys, if we got to blow this channel up to the point where, we've got so many in the Knucklehead Nation that, you guys are messaging Eddie Hearn to make it happen or whoever. It's just unacceptable that the best guys aren't fighting the best guys. That fight should have happened. And I do think AJ's going to beat Ruiz. I really do think AJ's going to beat Ruiz in the rematch. Even if he doesn't, stop him or drop him or whatever. It's in Saudi Arabia. It's Eddie Hearn's promotion. Whatever Eddie wants, Eddie gets. Race car Eddie, fast Eddie, whatever they call him. And, I think AJ's going to win. I think he got careless after he dropped Ruiz and went on the inside and right into Ruiz's wheelhouse and got hurt, got stopped. But I don't think he'll make that mistake again. I think if he boxes long, he wins that fight. So, yeah, Wilder should have taken that fight. He missed a huge payday, but there's a chance that payday reveals itself again if AJ beats Ruiz. Suleiman, Wilder had 120 million reasons to accept the AJ fight. I agree with that. Ginger Giant, when Tyson DDT's Braun Strowman, he'll be bigger than Chael Sonnen's biceps. That's true, Ginger Giant. Very true, brother. Buddy Aces, it doesn't matter. At least I'm not cuddling guys like you play around with your butt buddies. Oh, it's getting personal in here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I can always schedule a fight between you two guys if you guys want, but I'm not going to pay for your hotel and airfare. You guys got to do that yourselves. I'm happy to schedule the fight. Let me know. Make it happen. Suleiman, UFC, said it was a contaminated vegan multivitamin. How the fuck did they find and clear so quickly? Other fighters had to wait up to 13 months to get cleared. What they did for Diaz in less than 24 hours seems fishy to me. Well, maybe they did it just to build up the fight. Maybe, you know, there's so much on the line with this fight being in Madison Square Garden. They had the test expedited, if you know what I mean. So who knows? Daniel Ion, who do you think Conor McGregor's first fight back should be? I think it's going to be either Frankie Edgar or Donald Cerrone. That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Buddy Aces, you're in your feelings because I hit a truth button. Chemical X, Dillian White's been waiting forever. His title shot and B-sample results for 600 days. That's crazy, man. They did Dillian White really, really long, man. I really like Dillian White. I wish he'd get his shot. Steroids or not. I said it, and I don't care. It's bullshit. PEDs are bullshit. Nobody should be taking them. But I want to see Dillian White fight, damn it. Suleiman, Buddy Aces, he literally said it doesn't matter, a.k.a. he's definitely paying a few bills for her. Chemical X, Buddy Aces, you're a hoe. All right, guys. All right. Buddy Aces, you guys are tripping out. Ginger Giant Chemical, thanks. He's Nate Diaz. Guys, I really appreciate you guys being in the chat. It's past 10 o'clock now. We've been on this thing just over an hour, and it's time for me to spend some time with my significant other. So thank you guys so much for joining. I really appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed and hit that icon already, please do. Also, you know, I always encourage you guys to get your Fighters Rep gear, donate, do whatever it is you want to do. And I appreciate you guys being in the chat. We're going to do this almost every day at 9. So play nice with each other in the chat room. You're all great contributors. I really appreciate everything you guys have to say. Notice we don't get like trolls in here that often. So, I mean, I'm kind of proud of that. You know, people come in here, and when they do try to troll, they get shut down pretty quick. So it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. So you guys have a great night. I'm about to crash. And if I don't see you tomorrow at 9, I will see you Tuesday at 9. You guys have a great